Okay, so we've had this travel channel for over 2 years now, and we've never actually sat down to answer your questions. I think we're a little bit late to the game, but I mean, we just keep getting the same questions over and over again, so we thought it was high time to do this.
Let's do it.
So one of the biggest ways we were able to save money was working as ESL teachers when we were in South Korea. That's a pretty cool job because the pay is very high, plus you get a free apartment, and Korea isn't all that expensive. So we decided to just save like crazy and use that money for travel.
Yeah, we were really frugal while we were in Korea. I think our biggest expense was food, if you can believe that. Come on, do we like to eat?
Yeah, and then while we've been traveling over the last year and a half or two, we've also been earning a little bit through blogging, freelance writing for a few different outlets, and then just making YouTube videos.
A little bit from YouTube. It is growing though.
So teaching in Korea, I think it's a pretty cool job if you enjoy working with kids and you have a bit of experience dealing with them. I had worked as a tutor and a camp counselor before, so I felt comfortable with children, but some of my coworkers had never been around kids before, and just being thrown into the classroom with no experience, it's a little bit intimidating, especially because you do have the language barrier. It's supposed to be an English-only environment. But when you get a little kindy student who has never been exposed to English before, that is a bit of a challenge. So I mean, come prepared to work hard, but Korea will be fun.
Yeah, exactly. And when we started teaching, it was just literally we're thrown right into the classroom. Here you are, you're now a teacher. Once you get a handle of it, you're good.
Okay, so favorite places. That's always a really hard one to answer because we've been so many places and it's just hard to choose from.
And we like almost everywhere we go.
So let's pick 3 instead of 1. So in Southeast Asia, I really enjoyed Vietnam just because the landscape is so diverse. Like I went trekking in Sapa, which was really cool, and then we took a tour of Halong Bay, which is just amazing. And then the food was delicious, so I really had a good time there. I really enjoyed our month in the country. Then in the Middle East, I really liked Jordan because we got to experience the desert, go camping with Bedouins, swimming in the Dead Sea. That was a lot of fun. And then for Europe, I'm going to choose Germany. I've been able to travel there a few times, and I just think it's such a cool country. Like you've got castles everywhere and so much history. So those are my 3.
And if I had to narrow it down to just 3, I would choose India, Turkey, and Finland. I absolutely loved India because I was getting a little bit tired of my travels, and I went to India and it just blew my mind. Like there is just so much going on. It's just really hard to explain, but my 2 months spent in India felt like 5 years spent traveling almost anywhere else around the world. Now it's a bit strange that I chose Turkey because I only spent time in Istanbul, but just with all of its history, its mosques, the amazing food, Turkish delight, baklava, I just fell in love with the place. The reason I chose Finland is it's the country that most reminds me of Canada. There's a lot of nature, it's peaceful and quiet, and it's just somewhere I can really relax. And of course, how could I forget salmiakki? I love that stuff.
Well, I think we've had a few minor mishaps along the way. Things like machines eating our debit cards and Sam forgetting his wallet at a supermarket.
I have an uncanny ability to split my shorts too at the worst moments, so.
Yeah, but I think by far our worst travel mishap was when our train derailed in Thailand when we were traveling from Bangkok to Chiang Mai. That was a pretty scary experience. We had no idea what was going on. It was like 2 in the morning when the carriages came off the tracks.
And it happened in a tunnel. It was just pitch black. Yeah. And the funniest memory I have from all of that was one of the Thai attendants. She wasn't really concerned about our safety or how we were doing. She was just running around trying to collect the beer money that hadn't been paid. Well, my friends, we've experienced our fair share of food poisoning over the years. I mean, I've been sick in Bolivia, India, Vietnam, Thailand, Cuba. How about you?
Well, I don't feel like I get sick that often, but when I have been sick, surprisingly enough, it has not been from street food.
Yes.
It's restaurants.
Never, not even once. It's always been from a restaurant.
But going back to street food, I actually think it's quite safe because it's cooked right in front of you. It's usually made fresh. And if you see there's a high turnover rate, then you know you're getting food that hasn't been sitting out for too long. So I wouldn't worry too much about street food.
Yeah, exactly. The key point is you want to go to somewhere that's busy and where you see a lineup, and also where you see locals eating. If it's just tourists eating there, well, you're taking a bit of a risk. Yes, we most definitely do. And I find that we go through these different cycles. Like every once in a while, we're in full-on backpacking mode and we're just traveling for weeks or even months on end. But eventually we get burnt out and we do need to have a base.
So that's actually how we ended up in Chiang Mai, Thailand for 3 months last year. And then we also did another month in Berlin, where we stayed in a local neighborhood, enjoyed our apartments, and just didn't do much sightseeing.
So our criteria for choosing a base is really quite simple. We want somewhere that's affordable and that has awesome food, really good restaurants and street food.
That's all you really need. Okay, so tell us the love story.
Okay, so we actually knew each other from our travel blogs. And then Audrey moved to Korea and I kind of offered to show her around.
And I guess we kind of hit it off and just started hanging out every weekend, exploring Seoul, going out for food.
She was stalking me.
I was not. I totally was not. And then we just ended up traveling together around Southeast Asia and then the Middle East and Europe. And what do you know? We got married this summer.
Ring to prove it.
No, you're stuck with me. Okay, so if you have any other burning questions you want to ask us, just leave it in the comments below and we'll try to do another Q&A video soon.
Yeah, it can be related to anything. Travel, life, how weird we are, just anything you want to know.